Ever get the feeling your company is trying to, I don't know, launch a rocket ship, but maybe using a flip phone as its guidance system?
Huh. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
We're seeing a lot of organizations enthusiastically adopting Agile and AI, right?
Mm.
But often there's this mismatch somewhere deep down that seems to stop real progress.
Exactly. And that's what we're digging into today.
Okay.
We're going to explore how a company's fundamental management philosophy, the core beliefs about how work gets done, how people are motivated, how that dramatically influences whether their agile and AI initiatives will truly take off or just kind of sputter.
Right.
We've been looking at several video presentations, actually, that really shine a light on this connection.
Okay, so it's like different blueprints for running a company. Like there's Theory X,
Mm.
that's the one based on control, yeah.
Huh? Rooted in the idea that people generally avoid work and need, well, close control.
Then Theory Y, that assumes people are more naturally motivated.
Yeah, capable, motivated if you give them the right environment. And then there's Theory Z.
Theory Z, that sounds more about trust, collaboration.
Exactly. Trust, collaboration, and a shared long-term kind of vision. Think of them as like different operating systems for how management actually approaches its people.
Got it. Different operating systems.
And our aim today, really, it's pretty simple. Help you, our listener, understand how these underlying philosophies act as this sort of invisible framework.
Okay.
A framework that can either powerfully support or honestly completely undermine your efforts with Agile and AI. We just want to give a clear understanding of this, well, absolutely vital relationship.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Let's start with something we probably see quite a bit. Companies that have put the structures of Agile in place.
Yeah.
Self-organizing teams, cross-functional stuff.
Right.
But they're still operating with a fundamentally Theory X mindset underneath it all.
Mm.
What does that actually look like?
Well, what often results is what some people have called zombie agile. It's a great term, actually.
Zombie Agile.
Yeah, you get the outward appearance of agile, the ceremonies, the words, but the underlying principles, empowerment, autonomy, they're just missing.
So teams are just going through the motions.
Pretty much, they might be doing daily stand-ups using Kanban boards, but the real power, the decision-making, it stays top-down. There's no real self-direction happening.
Right. So a daily stand-up, which should be about the team aligning, finding roadblocks, yeah. But in a Theory X place, it just becomes another status report for the boss. A way to check up on individual tasks, not team problem solving.
Exactly. And those Kanban boards, meant to visualize workflow, help the team decide things.
Yeah.
They can just turn into tools for micromanagement, tracking who's doing what tiny piece instead of focusing on the overall progress of the work. It's like agile in name only.
Like one of the videos said, process without purpose.
That's it.
Yeah.
Then you've got Theory Y, that sort of middle ground.
Yeah.
Here, there's some acknowledgement that employees have potential. A bit of a move towards offering some autonomy, maybe some individual empowerment in how they do their work.
So Agile can get some traction there. Teams might have a bit more say.
Yeah, a bit more say in maybe organizing their tasks, managing their day-to-day stuff.
But I sense a but coming.
Well, yeah, the limitations often show up when you get to bigger decisions or trying to collaborate across different teams,
Ah, okay.
You might see self-organization within a team, sure, but the strategic stuff, that tends to stay pretty centralized. The hierarchies are still there.
So that limits the full benefit you could get from Agile, especially for complex work that needs different groups involved.
Exactly. It's like giving the team a map, but still telling them exactly which way to turn at every corner.
Right, right. Which I guess brings us to Theory Z.
Theory Z. This is the management philosophy that really aligns most closely with those core Agile values.
Because of the emphasis on, what was it? Collective decisions. Trust.
Collective decision-making, deep trust, building long-term relationships. That kind of environment is where Agile can genuinely thrive.
Okay. So in that kind of setup, the daily stand-ups aren't status reports.
No, they become real opportunities for the team to align, solve problems together. They figure out the best way forward. They adapt as they need to. It's collaborative.
And Kanban boards.
They become actual tools for the team to make decisions collectively about the work. They evolve based on what the team understands and needs. The focus shifts from just individual tasks to the shared success of the overall work.
That makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Now, AI. How does throwing AI into the mix change things with these different philosophies?
Yeah. It's fascinating, actually. AI seems to act like an amplifier for whatever management philosophy is already there.
An amplifier.
That
Okay.
too.
So if a company is fundamentally theory X control-based,
Hmm.
how does AI usually get used based on these video presentations?
Well, that tendency towards control often means that AI gets deployed for surveillance.
Surveillance. Like what?
One of the videos we watched mentioned AI-powered productivity monitoring, software tracking screen activity, even analyzing emails or chat messages for patterns.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that kind of use of AI, predictably, can just destroy trust within teams, creates this climate of suspicion, anxiety.
I can imagine. Okay, what about theory Y then? How might AI be used differently there?
With Theory Y, you might see more focus on using AI to, say, augment individual capabilities, giving people tools to be more efficient in their current jobs.
So helping individuals do their existing work better.
Right. But because those hierarchies and the centralized decision-making are often still in place,
Ah,
the potential for broader, more collaborative uses of AI might not get fully realized. The AI helps individuals maybe within their silos, but it doesn't necessarily boost that collective intelligence across the board.
in theory Z. That sounds like where AI could really unlock something interesting.
Precisely. In a Theory Z culture, built on trust, collaborative problem solving,
Right.
AI is much more likely to be seen and used as a genuine partner.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, something that enhances the collective intelligence of the teams, not just a tool for watching people or making one person faster in isolation. It becomes a resource the whole team can leverage to improve their work, achieve shared goals on projects.
This really drives home that just, installing agile processes or buying some AI software,
Yeah.
that's not the whole picture, is it?
Not at all. There needs to be a much more fundamental shift in how a company thinks about managing people.
The cultural shifts.
Exactly. Moving towards that Theory Z way of thinking, it requires a pretty significant cultural evolution. It means actively building trust,
Yeah.
prioritizing long-term outcomes over just hitting short-term numbers,
Right.
intentionally distributing authority so teams are actually empowered, and really fostering psychological safety.
Psychological safety, meaning
Yeah.
people feel okay taking risks, making mistakes sometimes.
Yes, feeling comfortable experimenting, learning from setbacks in their work without fear of blame. Several of the videos we looked at really emphasize this isn't some quick fix. It's a deliberate, ongoing process.
So, okay, say a company recognizes this. They see there may be two theory X or Y, and they want to move towards Z. What are some practical first steps?
Well, the first and maybe the most crucial step is just honest self-assessment. Organizations really need to take a hard look at their current management philosophy.
Where are we really operating from, X, Y, or Z?
Exactly. Look at key indicators. How are decisions really made? Is it top-down or is it genuinely collaborative? How much input do people actually have on new initiatives, on the direction of their own work? And how do we define and measure success? Is it just individual output or something broader?
That makes sense. You can't plot a course if you don't know where you're starting from.
Absolutely. And then investing in leadership development is huge, specifically focusing on Theory Z principles.
Teaching leaders how to build trust, empower teams.
Right, how to foster that truly collaborative environment. And beyond that, actively looking at reorganizing decision-making structures. How can you allow for more participation at different levels? Establishing genuinely cross-functional teams for projects. Those are key practical steps towards actually living a Theory Z philosophy.
Okay, we've talked a lot about the benefits of shifting towards theory Z. But what about the flip side? What are the real risks for organizations that stay stuck in theory X, especially as they try to bring in AI?
Oh, the risks are substantial. We touched on the surveillance aspect.
Yeah, the trust erosion, people leaving.
Definitely a big talent drain risk. But beyond that, think about compliance issues with privacy regulations getting stricter, potential ethical problems using surveillance tech without real transparency or consent, and even safety risks, potentially. If you replace critical human oversight with purely algorithmic control in an environment where there's no trust, no open communication about flaws, that could be dangerous.
And innovation.
It gets stifled, right? People become focused on just following the AI's rules or maybe even trying to game the system instead of actually thinking creatively and solving problems.
That does paint a pretty concerning picture. So let's end on the upside. What's the big opportunity for organizations that can genuinely embrace Theory Z in this age of AI and Agile?
The potential is enormous, really. Theory Z feels like the key to unlocking real collaborative synergy between humans and AI.
Synergy, okay.
You get superior innovation because you have These engaged, empowered teams working with intelligent tools, all in an environment of trust and shared purpose on their projects.
And attracting people.
It becomes a magnet for top talent, right? People want to work in places that value autonomy, collaboration, and it builds much stronger trust with all stakeholders, customers, partners, everyone, because the organization is seen as ethical, forward-thinking, and genuinely invested in its people.
So the critical insight here, the main takeaway, is that a company's underlying management philosophy, it's not just some HR theory. It have a massive real-world impact on whether Agile and AI efforts succeed or fail.
Precisely.
And moving towards Series E, that trust-based model, seems increasingly crucial for actually thriving today.
That's exactly the takeaway from the material we reviewed. It's fundamental.
So listener, maybe something to think about. Reflecting on the insights from these video presentations, what aspects of your own work environment might be shaped by these underlying management assumptions? X, Y, or Z.
Yeah, and how might a shift towards a more trust-based collaborative approach, how might that unlock greater potential for innovation, for success, with both your human teams and any AI tools you might be starting to use?
Definitely food for thought.
And we really do encourage you to explore this more. Please click on the thumbnails or check out the links in the description. You can delve into those source video presentations directly.
Yeah, there's a lot more detail in there.
A wealth of valuable info on Theory XYZ and what they really mean for navigating work today, especially with Agile and AI in the picture.